Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're going to be doing part 2 of our warehouse conversion into the evil lair of Dr. Inferno, where we're building his large robo-attack mech. So last time we had the defence team outside on the piers, armed with their weapons, guns and dynamite, and their leader Breakjaw was on the video walkie-talkie talking to those people inside via this screen. And what we need to do now is make the insides as busy and as interesting as the outsides, having everyone working on this fantastic mech that I've sort of mounted in the middle, and these legs which are currently loose, which will be being built separately. Right, let's get going. So we're making progress with adding detail to the insides, but what's becoming apparent is that I'm not going to have enough room to put in big sub-assemblies like the ones from the Lego Batman movie sets. So although I really like these, they don't really fit, and they're a completely different colour scheme. Even if amended, they're going to be completely different, so I'm just going to leave those out. What I have put in already is Spyclops, just because this is about the only area he can fit, is on a large area of open floor on this side with one of the legs, and this leg is facing side on with the sort of toes at this end, and the other leg, which you can't see from this perspective, we've got going the other way just for variety, with its sort of toes facing towards the front of the building. And I've got the mech attached to the middle stanchion there, and it's got both of its arms laid out for it to be worked on. And you can see that the far arm, the metal grabber arm, is being worked on by somebody with a welding mask and welding torch. And the near side one, which is the flamethrower, it's got a man on a ladder, and the ladder is quite a simple assembly. It's just two of these barrier pieces with the clips on the end, one on the other, with a bar piece to finish it off, and 4 1x1 modified tiles. And he's on there with basically a nozzle on the end of a long string, so I think he's sort of filling that up with fuel. So I've got a very long fuel line, and I've just put a knot on this piece of string so it can be linked to this brick but not pull through. And then I thought, because I had this panel, I've got a panel piece which is from an old Dino Attack set or something like that. Anyway, it's just a bit of hardware. I thought I could mount this brick to that, put a lid on that, and have that threaded through. Have this cable going, oh, I've got it wrapped around there. So you can see how hard this is to work on with all the bits in place, but it's kind of necessary. And I thought that that could be a bit of kit that sort of mounted something like there, although that's already clashing with these barriers that I've put down here to give a lot more colour. I can probably move those along. So that would be a bit of hardware that's giving a lot of detail on where the fuel's coming from. Now, other things to add. I've been through my bits boxes and I've picked out orange pieces with lines on, stickers, even these ones with the Dr. Inferno logo on, and lots of different tools, oil cans, wrenches, a few guns and so on, just so I've got a large assortment of things to give a lot of the remaining henchmen to use when they're inside the building. I've got a second ladder that I showed you a moment ago, and that means somebody else can be working on probably the far side leg. Built this small little crane, it's just out of hinge bricks with a turntable at the bottom, so it can be sort of a local sort of winch type crane. And I've got this spare stickered piece with the Inferno logo on, which I can just hang on there like it's taking some of the weight and being directed. And with that in mind, I've given one henchman sort of a remote control unit with which to work the crane, so maybe he'll be standing nearby or on this base just working that. So I think that's a good bit of kit to go in there. I'll lie that down. Dr. Disaster has this laptop, which is obviously got Dr. Inferno on there, so maybe he's testing the comms link to the pilot cabin, to the dome, so he can be working on that. I thought he would be mounted standing on the robot somewhere. I thought Claudette could just be talking to Dr. Inferno. I kind of think of her as his girlfriend, so that's she can be mounted on the top of it as well. There's another piece that I picked up along the way, which is sharks with rockets attached to their backs, which is obviously a fantastic invention. What's it say? Evil shark with missile mount. Top secret document. Security class Delta. Information only given on a need-to-know basis. So I thought that would be a good computer screen to have against the wall somewhere as well. So there's a lot of bits to put in the building. And then after that, I've got loads more men to go in, and a seagull to go on the roof, and maybe a few more barriers. So let's get going with those. Right, so I've weaved this cable through all the gaps and moved the barrier there, which gives us enough space to put that firmly on. I've got a flat surface there, so maybe I'll get a henchman with, I don't know, a wrench. And have him standing on there. Doing some work to the back, so that looks good. So I wanted Claudette to be right up front on the top, talking to Dr. Inferno. So there we are, she's on the dome. Then Dr. Disaster with his laptop. I want to kind of look over his shoulder. I'm not sure if I want to have him on the near side or the far side. I rather want him here. Well, he does look rather good actually. Or here. Actually, I think I want him on the far side. Just modifying these sort of shoulder pad bits so I can give him a little ledge to stand on. Everything is so fiddly to reach now. And filming just makes it twice as hard. Right, so you see I've just added a 2x2 plate there on the bottom just so he's got something to stand on. Otherwise he'll be balanced, and every time I move this assembly, especially back into the Lego room, it's all going to fall over, and I don't want that because it's hard enough to reach as it is. So there's him mounted on the top there, so you can see the guy I just added, Claudette and Dr. Disaster. Let's get this crane in with its cargo. Makes sense that being the centre middle so it could reach all areas of the warehouse. And near the door, oh, how am I going to reach to put him in? Put the guy with the controls. Oh, he will fit. Well, that's good. And then maybe the computer terminal will go on the other side. Don't know if I'm going to be able to reach that. Oh, just. So that looks good in there. Very hard to show you. Let's have Goldtooth with his gold gun looking at the computer screen. All right. We've got another ladder. Try and put this in about here. Some of you may be wondering why this warehouse is actually sort of hanging off the side of this base plate. It's just because I only wanted to bring down the base plates that it was already attached to in the city. Obviously I'm attaching a lot of things now to the base plates as well, making it even more complicated, but it's just that's where it just happens to need to sit to be in the best location in my city. Now that's actually hitting something. Move it a long one. Alright, so that's pushed right up against that arm. So hopefully I can get somebody else. Maybe somebody with a great big saw fist to know what good he can do in a constructive way with that great big thing. I've no idea, but we'll have him hanging onto that ladder, contributing over here. Right, so I've got 4 henchmen left. Lots of different faces, so I'll have maybe a couple with guns looking out what will be the windows on the sides. Maybe another one with a gun doing the same on the other side. And then we'll get some with tools. What should we do? Oil can. See where we can make him look like he's being useful. There really isn't much space now, is there? Now down here there's some space, so maybe he's oiling these joints. In fact, because there's a guy with a cap right next to him, I think I'm going to use the guy with the flat top hair just to give a bit more variety in that area. Variety being the spice of life after all. Alright, that looks good. And then one last tool. So what should we go for? Had a wrench, haven't we? Go for a screwdriver maybe. This guy. So we've got quite a few on this side now, so maybe we need some more on this side. Also Spyclops hasn't got a tool either, so let's temporarily take him out. Put this guy in towards the back there. Very difficult. Oh, I really can't reach, my hands are too big. That will do. And then I've got a ratchet spanner here. Now Spyclops won't be attached to anything on account of his feet, but I don't think he'll move too much. So they're all in. All the people. Brilliant. So we've actually got 16 people inside and outside in there. all working on this map. I mean, it looks ridiculously busy. But I also think rather good. I'll get some low shots as well, so we can see in a bit better at this level. The man doing his oil can work and saw fist up this ladder, doing what help he can. Next one, we've got the back of that unit. We won't be able to see this because the fence will be here, the harbour fence. Well, we've got a guy there. It's really nice how they're bright orange because they really pop when you see Goldtooth there, and that guy. The orange really brings them to the front, doesn't it? And the leg. And through here we've got somebody guarding out the window, because the window will be right there. Spyclops there, go up the ladder doing the refueling. Go in the background, Goldtooth on the computer. And we've got the gang outside, Breakjaw on his video phone. Firearm. Guarding one bridge. Another guy with his back to us talking to Dynamite. A rat. Another guard. He'll also be looking through another window, of course, when this wall's back on. And we've got the welder guy welding, guy controlling the crane. And there's Sawfist from the front. Obviously doing a lot of help there. And lastly at the top, we've got the laptop being used by Dr. Disaster and Claudette talking to Dr. Inferno himself. There's the big logo there and the video screen from outside. Looking good. Excellent, so that's finished, I think, at least for now. I've put the walls back on the sides. I can put the roof on. Oop, just lock that. One half. The other half. Fits very snugly indeed, which I like. I realised I hadn't used these tiles and I've got nowhere else to use them, and I think they look very good, so I thought I'll put them on 1x2 modified plates with clip and have them as more decoration on the outside of the building. I've got 2 of them so it can match. More bits of orange standing out, so I think that looks really good. And then, because we're near the harbour, probably need a seagull on the roof, don't we? Brilliant. This just needs to go up to the Lego room now and go back in its slot, and we're done. Okay, and here it is as part of the harbour. I think it looks really well placed and effective. So I'll just put the roof back on. Bit hard left-handed. There we are, really smart. Excellent. Well, I couldn't be happy with how that's turned out. Looks really special. Not very secret perhaps with all the signage on the outside, but nonetheless a really good evil lair. And it's a real surprise when you look inside and see everything that's in there. Really good. Well, as always, thank you very much for watching. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing the piers at the other side of the harbour, over on that side over there, and they will be running perpendicular to the current pier, and there'll be lots of ships and so on. So we'll see you next time. See you!